Let's talk about R language in this video. In this course, we will be using the software RStudio to perform data analysis. I'm not sure if you have ever wondered why it's called RStudio. The reason is this software is powered by an analytical language called R analytical language. That's why this software is called RStudio. So basically, when you study RStudio, you are learning a new analytical language called R. In this course, I want to give you the R fundamental first, and then we'll move to the data analysis part by using R analytical language in the RStudio software. R language consists of two important components, variables and functions. So basically, when you use R language, when you use RStudio, you are controlling, you are manipulating these two components. You create variables to hold values, and then give variables to functions to analyze, to process the values you give to the software, and then the functions will give you the results from the analysis. By the way, R language could be a little challenging at the beginning because it is a command line-based language. You need to type the comments. It's not like other software you drag and drop by using graphical user interface. R language is command line-based language. And you are required to remember frequently used functions, how to use those functions, the function names, and then you are able to get the correct results from R language. But when you make efforts studying R language, you are also getting something back, very valuable. This software and language can perform more advanced analytics than Excel or other software. It can perform data analysis on pictures, numbers, and text mining. This is what we want. Let's talk about the two major components of R language one by one. First, variables. What is a variable? A variable is a factor with changing values. Just like what you learned in the mathematics class, you can give a number or a table of numbers to a variable. You can also give an object, such as text data, to a variable in the R language. On this slide, I give you two examples. I want to create a variable called my sales, and then give the value $1,250 to my sales. Notice that in the R language, I have two ways of giving a value to a variable, as you can see on this slide. The first one is between the variable and the value, I have a less than sign and then a small dash. This is one way of giving a value to the variable my sales. Or I simply use a single equal sign. As a convention, when you give the value to a variable you created, not the software created, you create a variable and then you want to give a value to the variable you just created. As a convention, you want to choose the first way in priority. Then R language is able to understand. You just create a variable called my sales and then give the value 1,250 to my sales. Even though we understand that 1,250 represents the sales number, it's a dollar value, right? But notice that when you give a value to a variable in the R language, no dollar sign, even if it's a dollar value. Also, no comma between 1,000 and 200. Simply the value. That's it. This is how you create a variable and then give a value to it. In the next lecture, I will talk about how to create variables in detail in R. Next, functions. Functions are the most important components in the R universe. What is a function? It's basically a method that can analyze data just like Excel functions you used before. For example, in Excel, if you want to calculate the total of a series of number, you can type in equals to sum, right? And then parentheses, and then select these 4 cells. You get the final answer. In RStudio, you basically use the same way. If you want to calculate the sum of these 4 numbers, you type in sum, and then the first one 100, right? Comma 33, comma 12, comma 54. Let me double check. 133, 12, 54. And then you press enter. You get 199 as well. This is a quick example of using functions in RStudio. So as an analyst, you are basically required to remember each function name, how to correctly use each function, what values can be given to each function. Remember, there are 2 types of functions in RStudio or the R language. The first one are called native functions. You can use them directly in the RStudio software, just like the sum function I showed you. The other one is third-party function. When you use third-party function, you must download the function package into the RStudio before you use them. For example, I want to use all the functions in a package called tidytext. First step, you need to go to RStudio and then click Packages. And then make sure tidytext package is downloaded into your RStudio software. If not, click Install. And then in the Packages box, type in tidytext. Check the box before Install Dependencies, and then click Install. Then the RStudio software will tell you the package is installed in the software. You are able to use all the functions in the tidytext package. To me, this is like you download a mobile app on iPhone, right? If you want to play a game or use the functions in an app, you must go to App Store to download it first. This is just the same process. By the way, you only need to download a package once. Next time when you start RStudio, you want to use the functions in a package, you do not need to download again. Just like you use the mobile app, right? You just go to App Store once. Once you download it, you will never go to App Store again. This is the same logic. Before you are able to use the functions in a package, you must use library function to start the app, to start the package. Let me show you. Here, let's type in library. This is basically another function to start the functions, right? And then you type in the package name. Here, I want to use tidytext. So I type in tidytext. RStudio is very considerate. It will give you some warning message. If it's a warning message, ignore them. If it is an error message, you need to read the error message to figure out what is wrong. But if it's just a warning message, that's fine. You can proceed, move forward without a problem. Once you start the tidytext package, you can use all the functions inside of this package. In the next few lectures, I will show you some functions belonging to this package. This is how you use third-party packages, third-party functions.